Hello everyone. Last time we did one of these lore videos, we spoke about the Bilgewater, the Battle for Bilgewater event that was going on. And this time around, I thought we'd do something in the same vein and discuss more areas within League of Legends and the lore around these areas. So this time, let's explore the Shadow Isles. Now, the Shadow Isles doesn't have a complete lore, it is rather vague, which is completely understandable as currently it is a set of islands surrounded by a thick mist that no one can see. However, it does not contain pandas like it does in WoW, instead it contains everything undead and vile. So with that understood, let us proceed on and speak about the champions that represent the Shadow Isles out in the League of Legends. Firstly, there is Hecarim, herald to the might of the Shadow Isles and leads their cavalry charges on the battlefield. He made his landfall 2 years ago, I believe, and long story short, the only reports they got was of a spectral knight decimating entire regiments of a Demacian army out in Demacian territory. Of course, Hecarim's not the only fighter from the Shadow Isles. Mordekaiser is the general of all the undead, and is also pretty much the host leader, if you will, the war boss. Karthus was once a human who sailed there looking for a way to live forever and achieve the perfect spell to kill thousands. He found it, and of course now he is the immortal lich and lead singer of a very popular band. Elise is another person who sailed over to the Shadow Isles, but she worshipped the spider god Vilemore, who resided there. In exchange for fresh meat and fresh sacrifices, she is gifted eternal life through his venom, and with it comes the power of spiders. Yorick has no memory of his past. Instead, he just acts as a ferryman for those wishing to cross from one part of the Shadow Isles to the other. He also gets rather bored, of course, because the undead aren't great dinner conversation. Evelyn, the Widowmaker, her lore is still a mystery to us. We have no idea where she started, where she's going, but it is believed that she is a resident of the Shadow Isles, considering all of her funky abilities. Nocturne is the physical manifestation of fear, and who is now locked away on the Twisted Tree Line in an abandoned Nexus crystal. It's of course where we get the Twisted Tree Line from for the League of Legends map itself. There's a few more champions we still have yet to discuss. Lucian the Purifier, a man who is on a mission to cleanse the Shadow Isles, free the damned, and purge the corrupt. But mostly it's the Tasharan named Threshold all day. And the last two hold the most for the lore of the Shadow Isles. Maokai the Treant was raised here at the point that the Shadow Isles fell into corruption, and with him he carries the last remains of how it used to be. And of course, Kalista, who is the newest champion, and the Spear of Vengeance. She knows the history of the Shadow Isles better than anyone else, as said when she picks up the Blade of the Ruined King.
In the end, it was not his blade that stole our lives.
Now the lore, from what we know, is really from Maokai, Kalista, and the two altars that reside on the Twisted Tree Line map. Now if you go to the Lady, or the East altar, she will say,
"This place was once so beautiful."
Which now ties into Maokai's lore, one in which the land used to be beautiful until vile and undead corruption started spreading through it. As he tried to protect his sacred grove, he saw that all of his fighting was unavoidable, and at the end was inevitable. So he retreated to the oldest oak on the grounds, uprooted himself, and took with him a sapling from the enchanted forest, which is the sapling he carries around with him as the last vestige of the Shadow Isles, and is intent on finding someone new to resettle and rebuild an ancient forest. Now in regards to the twisted and dark magics, it is Kalista who sheds light on this with the Blade of the Ruined King.
Once he was a noble king, until grief overcame his reason.
Now I believe this king was wrapped with grief, as Calista states, and in unleashing undeath upon the Shadow Isles, he also ignites a civil war. Those who saw the death and despair coming and wanting to stop it, and those who are loyal to their king and want to follow him on to the end. Of course, this then leads us on to the two generals, if you will, for the Shadow Isles, Hecarim and Mordecai.
Remember who you once were, Hecarim.
Now, it's my belief that Hecarim was once a man who tried to defend the people from the undeath coming across from all these twisted and dark magics, as said by the lady, and that Mordecai serves his king even now, believing himself to want to liberate all the souls that have been lied to about the cost of life when undeath offers so much more, especially when it can reunite you with the ones you love. And on that subject, I also like to bring up Calista. Now, before now, no one knew what the Blade of the Ruined King was. It's only Calista that has an idea. Now, for those that don't know, Calista is an amalgamation of souls, all bent on destroying betrayers. She never refers herself as I, it is always we.
We are vengeance.
And if she's the only one that knows, I have a sneaking suspicion that her soul, the origin of her soul, is in fact the Queen of the Shadow Isles, or whatever it used to be called before it was the Shadow Isles, probably the Sunny Isles, Bahamas maybe. But it was her that wanted vengeance against her husband for destroying everything they had worked to and upsetting the balance of nature, giving rise to Maokai and corrupting the Shadow Isles from within. She then becomes the spirit of vengeance, not like Nicolas Cage, and is now out for vengeance. Now, of course, we could see more of the Shadow Isles. At the time of recording, it is only August. We have not yet had another harrowing, and the Black Mist grows ever bolder in its rampage across the sea. So when it started to claim Bilgewater, and who knows, we might see more stuff happen with Piltover or Zwan in the future, or even Ionia. So that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for listening. It's a bit of a short one, but again, the Shadow Isles is a very short and very uneventful place, really. If you want to see more of these, give it a like, and let me know in the comments below what you want to see next in terms of the lore. Do you want to talk about Demacia? Do you want to talk about certain chapters, or even certain weapons, like the Blade of the Ruined King? It does have a history. And also be sure to subscribe so that we see that video when it goes up. And until next time, guys, see ya!